Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our first look at Ravnica Remaster Collector Box pre-sales data off of TCG Player from the beginning of the pre-sale period out to 14 days prior to release, which was yesterday, Friday, December 29th. So in that whole period so far, it sold a dismal 163 boxes at a total of $45,000 for an average price of $275 per box. Now, the wholesale on this is around $230, which means the break even for a small card store in the US is right at $275 once you put in some realistic shipping costs and the fee structure of the large marketplaces. What to compare it to? Of course, first you're going to want to compare it to Dominaria Remastered from last year to see, does it have a chance? Does it have a chance at all? Well, no. Okay, so that's a bad comparison. Dominaria Remastered out to 14 days prior to its release last January had sold $138,000 worth of products. So up to the same point in their respective life cycles, it had outsold Ravnica Remastered by 3 to 1. So let's try something else. Let's put up Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Okay, so that outsold by about 3 to 1 also. We might just take some other random standard sets. Boy, that's about a 4 to 1 outsale. But you had this leg up here, probably from a bonus buck sale. What about Brothers War? Let's just throw that up there for seeing what standard sets are selling better than Ravnica Remastered. Let's try as hard as we can. We will put Streets of New Capenna collector boxes up here against Ravnica Remastered, and Streets of New Capenna was selling better at the same point in its life cycle. Yep, the red line, it was at $140,000 at this same point in time. So again, 3 to 1 sales ratio of Streets compared to Ravnica Remastered. Can we find anything that this beats? Of course, we'll go to our worst performers, Unfinity and March of the Machine Aftermath. And finally, we find some products that Ravnica Remastered collector boxes are selling better than at this 14-day prior to release point. Now, here's the problem in my mind, and I would welcome anyone who disagrees to explain their points and their counters here. When I look through the cards in this set, it just doesn't look like as good of a set as Dominaria Remastered looked like a year ago. Dominaria Remastered had the Tutor Cycle, it had Urza's Incubator, it had Sylvan Library, it had Force of Will, it had lots of really, really great cards. And I look at Ravnica Remastered, and well, it has a reprint of Bruvok, which if you take out all the anime cards and the retro frame cards, you just look at the base cards. Right now, that Bruvok is the most valuable card in the set at $30. So it's got Bruvok, it's got the Shocklands, but even the full art versions of the Shocklands right now are topping out at about $30. And we're not even at release yet, and the best cards in the set are in the $30 range. You compare that to Dominaria Remastered a year ago when Force of Will was $50, $60 at release, when the Tutors were, at least for Vampiric, was up above $40 at release. Urza's Incubator was in that strong kind of $30 range. So, Dominaria Remastered had a lot more cards that were still carrying a lot more value at release than Ravnica Remastered has now, and it's still got 2 weeks to go. The other thing is, WotC published its information on serialized card odds, on how many packs or how often they would appear in packs, and the math works out about the same for the total number of collector boxes we should expect based on those data. If we take WotC at face value, then we're still looking at the same kind of 260,000 collector box print run that we've been looking at for a lot of sets, going back a year, 2 years, more than that. So it doesn't seem that the print run has really been tightened up with this. Yes, I know some of the packs will end up in bundles. There are bundles for this with collector packs, aren't there? Some of them will end up in those weird little single collector pack boxes, but still, just the raw number of collector packs that we expect to have is about the same as we've been getting for a lot of sets. And right now, the market just is not supporting the price. That's the other problem, is that again and again and again, the secondary market has said collector boxes right now just are not worth $275. It's been almost universally unable to support those kind of prices, with the exception of Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings Special Edition. Are there any other collector boxes? Man, you have to go back a long way to find collector boxes up above 275. You know, Modern Horizons 2 collector boxes are $300 right now, but even stuff all the way back like Ikoria, that's fallen back down below 300 into about the 260s, 270s. I think if you could find, oh, what was the first one? Throne of Eldraine. Throne of Eldraine collector boxes and Commander Legends collector boxes. I bet those are up above 275. So that with Modern Horizons 2 and Lord of the Rings. So you have to go all the way back in history, or you have to go to Lord of the Rings to find collector boxes that could support this $275 break-even price point for a small card store. And I just don't see it happening. I'm very negative on these collector boxes right now. Now, I will disagree with Rudy. I do not think that if this comes out and the collector boxes crash, I don't think it's some watershed moment. I think it's what we expect to happen. I think it's what we expect to happen based on these pre-sales data, based on the market almost never supporting collector boxes at this high of a price, based on the composition of the set just not looking that great, and based on this being one of the worst slots in the calendar to release a set in. So I kind of expect these to come down quite a bit. 230s, 220s, 210s, I would not be surprised to see. Do I think it'll crash all the way down at some points into the 140s like Dominaria Remastered? I hope not. I hope not. So I'll say that. But right now, the data look terrible that we have to go out to Unfinity and March of the Machine Aftermath to find something that is selling better. That is really bad sign. So, I'll say what I say all the time during a bear market, which is do not buy too early and do not pay too much. So I expect the prices to come down. And if nothing else, if it held these prices, which I think would be a huge win in and of itself just to hold these prices, they don't have to come up. But I think if it even holds this price of 275, you'll still have bonus buck sales in the future. A 15% bonus buck sale on this is going to be what, $42 off? So again, don't buy too early, don't pay too much. Wait for the TCG expansion life cycle to do its thing to bring the price down, and I expect there to be huge market pressure pulling the price down. So if I'm wrong and I miss out and I have to pay too much in the future if I want to get a box of this, oh well. Eventually I'll be wrong. Eventually the market will turn. Eventually print run slashes will actually happen. Eventually some of these collector boxes will do okay and not crash at release, and I'm willing to be wrong when that finally happens instead of pre-ordering and paying too much on every one of them until we get there. So I will come back another week from today to take another look at this at the R-7 date, and then I will do it again on release day. On release day, I will also take a look at the draft box pre-sales performance. Hit the subscribe button to catch those if you're not already subscribed. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.